Eggers' Nosferatu, 2024, when Ellen, portrayed by Lily Rose Depp, poses the profound question to the Doctor, does evil come from within us or from beyond? She articulates the central philosophical dilemma that underpins the very essence of the narrative. Ellen's question isn't merely a casual inquiry, it's a desperate cry born from her direct, terrifying entanglement with Count Orlok, a being who embodies an ancient, pervasive malevolence. This question, at its core, asks about a huge debate: does evil arise as an external force acting upon us, or is it an intrinsic part of human nature, residing solely within? It makes us wonder, are we always to blame for bad things, or does evil exist beyond our individual control, perhaps even as a cosmic, pervasive power? Let's explore that idea. Are you ready? The question of whether evil originates from within the human spirit or from an external, transcendent source is one of philosophy's most enduring and vexing inquiries, tracing its roots back to ancient thought and reverberating through theological, ethical, and metaphysical discourse. There is no singular, universally accepted answer, as each perspective offers a lens through which to comprehend the darkest facets of existence. One profound philosophical current posits that evil stems fundamentally from within, an intrinsic potential or inherent flaw woven into the fabric of human nature. Thinkers like Immanuel Kant, in his concept of radical evil, suggested that there is a deep-seated propensity in humanity to prioritize self-interest over the universal moral law, a perversity of heart that can lead to actions contrary to reason and duty. This perspective doesn't necessarily mean humans are born evil, but rather born with a predisposition towards inclinations, like self-love or desires, that, if not properly guided by reason and will, can lead to malevolent acts. Similarly, some modern psychological frameworks, such as certain interpretations of Jung's shadow archetype, suggest that our darker, unacknowledged impulses and suppressed aspects of the psyche, if left unintegrated, can manifest in destructive behaviors. In this view, evil is not an external contagion but a possible outcome of the choices made by a free, albeit imperfect, consciousness interacting with its own internal landscape in the world. It is the failure of the will to choose the good, the corruption of a potentially virtuous nature. Thomas Hobbes, known for his political philosophy in Leviathan, held a rather pessimistic view of human nature. He believed that, in a state of nature without government, human life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, in short. This is because he saw humans as fundamentally selfish, driven by self-preservation and a desire for power. From this perspective, evil acts are a natural outcome of individuals pursuing their own interests without external constraints or a strong social contract. While not framing it in moralistic terms as Augustine might, Hobbes implies that the potential for conflict and harm, which we'd call evil, is deeply ingrained in our natural inclinations. Conversely, another significant philosophical tradition argues that evil emerges from beyond, conceived as an external force, an absence, or even a pre-existing cosmic principle. For example, in many theological frameworks, particularly within Abrahamic religions, evil is often understood as a deviation from divine goodness, a privation of the good, as articulated by Augustine of Hippo, or the work of a malevolent, non-human entity, like demonic forces. In this dualistic perspective, exemplified by Manichaeism, though not strictly aligned with orthodox views, evil might be seen as an independent, eternal power in opposition to a benevolent one, with humanity caught in their cosmic struggle. Even in secular thought, one might conceptualize external evil not as a supernatural being, but as systemic injustices, oppressive social structures, or environmental forces that exert a malevolent influence on individuals, shaping their actions and creating suffering seemingly independent of their initial intent. Here, individuals may become instruments of evil, corrupted or compelled by forces larger than themselves. Plato, on the other hand, while not explicitly discussing evil in the modern sense, often linked wrongdoing to ignorance. For him, no one willingly chooses evil, they only do so because they are mistaken about what is truly good for them. If one truly understood the good, a transcendent, ideal form, they would always choose it. This suggests that evil arises from a lack of knowledge or understanding, something external to a perfectly rational and informed will. Ultimately, the philosophical dialogue often grapples with the interplay between these two poles. Nietzsche's philosophy, particularly his concept of the will to power, doesn't neatly categorize good or evil as internal or external in a traditional sense. Instead, he sees morality itself as a human construct. He distinguished between master morality, values like strength, pride, nobility, originating from the powerful, and slave morality, values like humility, compassion, pity, emerging from the oppressed as a reaction against their masters. For Nietzsche, what one society calls evil might be what another calls good. While the will to power is internal, the definitions of good and evil are externalized societal creations, often used to control or empower certain groups. So, evil isn't a fixed entity but a constantly shifting concept shaped by power dynamics and human will. Is the evil we witness the inherent capacity for cruelty residing in the human heart, unleashed by choice or circumstance? Or is it a response to an external evil, be it a spiritual adversary, a malevolent ideology, or the crushing weight of systemic injustice, that molds and distorts the human spirit? The answer likely lies not in an exclusive embrace of one over the other, but in recognizing the profound and intricate dance between inner inclinations and outer conditions. The human mind, with its capacity for both profound empathy and terrifying depravity, is perpetually engaged with a world that can both nurture goodness and facilitate cruelty. Evil, in its most profound sense, might therefore be understood as a complex phenomenon born from the perpetual interaction between the latent potentials within the human soul and the external forces that either challenge or corrupt its deepest moral compass.